I'm Matt. Hi, Zax.
Hi. Okay, so today we're doing something different because Rogue isn't
Yeah, I miss
here.
her.
Yeah, rip. But I have you
Mm-hmm.
today, and that's good because we're going to talk about pretty much our favorite show,
My
right?
current favorite. So bad it's a good show.
Yeah, Greenhouse Academy.
It is a Netflix original show from September of 2017 to present. Created by Yaria Chamzizer. Yes, starring Ariel Mortman and Finn Roberts, according to Wikipedia. I don't know who those people are. Country of origin says United States. Based on something called Ham Mama by the person that made Greenhouse, and that's country of
Yes.
origin. Oh, it's Israel. Interesting. They filmed this one in USA. Production company Nuts Productions. Oh, that's a good name for a production. It
Yeah,
is the story of who was the boy's name again?
it is Alex and his sister
Alex and his
Haley.
sister Haley, who go to a greenhouse academy, if you will, one of the
Yes.
best schools for great leaders and great thinkers in the entire world.
Yeah.
And so we can just go ahead and dive into this, like, I guess episode by episode. Episode one, we're gonna start out with, because like
Yeah.
the great thing about Greenhouse is that like there's so much in each episode that you kind of have to digest it all.
Yeah, need to let it sit in your gut and just
This isn't
roast.
like that other show Tagged where it's like kind of dull and then at the very end like everything happens. Like every episode you're like, what the wait what? It's
Yeah.
got you on the edge of
And
your seat.
like,
You're like, what is happening?
yeah, it's such a crazy show. And I think what is also great is just like all the little
Mm-hmm.
details that I feel like a normal show would sort of like let it like sit there for a minute, to let you
No,
process it.
not Greenhouse,
Not
no.
Greenhouse. That's
And
not that
so
kind of show.
to start off with that, yeah, we have episode one starts out with like the Challenger, their equivalent of the Challenger goes up and it just like explodes out of nowhere. Like everyone's sitting there happy and then it just blows up with Alex and Haley's mom in it.
And I forget, when we watched it together, did you think she was gonna
No,
die? Or
I didn't think that was gonna happen at all. That was like such a love thing out of left field.
see,
Just nowhere.
see, I knew it was gonna go wrong because everyone was too happy. They were like, "Mom, mom, mom, mom."
I didn't think they were gonna flip and kill somebody's like mom instantly, like just straight up, like instantly kill someone's mom.
Yeah,
She's
and then
just dead.
she's just, and we had like this heartfelt goodbye, which also I think sort of lets you know she's gonna die, cause like, Haley, watch out for your brother. And then like she leaves. And then like the fact that immediately after that, 8 months later, like
Yeah, 8 months later, just like cold cut, no time to digest it. 8 months later.
especially because this is like, I want to say for preteens is the demographic.
Yeah, it's a preteen drama, teen
I
drama.
Yeah, like
Wikipedia says teen drama, but I'm not sure I believe anybody in this show is a teenager. I think they're all at
no.
least in their 20s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like, cause I think Ariel Mortman is like 24, and I think like the girl who plays like Sophie or whatever is like actually like 28. So
Oh, wow.
so no real teenagers on this show, but that's good. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
mom blows up. So now
Smash
we
cut 8 months later.
yeah. So now we see how they're coping with everything.
Haley copes by listening to the fake Pink Floyd music.
Yeah, and having her little tennis
Tennis
racket.
racket, air guitar, something straight out of like Night Trap.
I've never played guitar on like a appliance or anything. If like I'm like just like jam, I've never really done an air guitar. I've mostly seen that like on TV shows.
I don't think I've ever done one either. Actually,
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with doing an air guitar, but the fact that she like really got into it, that she needs like
yeah,
a
she got
racket.
into that, and I love how it's like just really bad sounding Pink Floyd ripoff music too that she's so into.
I also like that while she's jamming, her like quote unquote stoner friends, like one's on his computer
Is
and
that what
one's
those
just
people were? They never
yeah.
show up again, so
No, they don't.
You know, it's funny you say her quote-unquote stoner friends, too, because, like, given what happens in this show, she doesn't seem like the kind of person who would be hanging out with stoner friends.
Like, I guess, well, because, like, the reason I infer that is because, like, you know, Alex is, like, practicing for Greenhouse Academy. He's, like, doing layups late into the night, which is, like, kind of weird because, like, the day before a big test, I'm thinking you want to get, like, early rest, but whatever.
No, you gotta
Yeah.
go play basketball.
He like breaks her like record or whatever, and then she's like, that's a limited dark side edition, you can't get that anywhere. And he's like, well, you're hanging out with your nothing friends doing nothing with your lives. And it's like, whoa, okay. Like,
A little hostile there.
and it was so intense. Like, okay, like, then the dad is, like, sitting there and his, like, head in his hands, and he's, like, definitely a quote-unquote alcoholic, I believe.
I'm sad. Sad dad on the track.
And he's, like,
He's sad dad on the track.
yeah, I want that album. Okay, so he's, like, sad, and he's like, will you both be quiet? And then he goes away. But then the next morning, Alex is like, oh my gosh, I gotta find my number 2 pencil. And she, like, Dad, you gotta take me to the academy. But then he can't because he's too depressed.
Sad.
Yeah,
He's
too
too
sad.
sad.
And so then Haley's like, I'll drive you. And then all the tension, Mom blows up. They just got into that huge fight. All of that, forget about it. Because now we have
Yeah, it's
happy
gone.
freeway music. And, like,
It's just gone. Again, no time to digest what happened.
yeah, not at all.
Like, no, like, it's total whiplash from, like, the first scene to the second scene to the third scene.
Yeah,
Like, they just he just called her a nothing with her nothing friends, and the very next morning she's like, alright, I'm gonna take you to school, let's go. We got this, get in the car. we go.
So, like, while they're driving, he looks through his catalog of the school brochure, which is like, it seems like you would have done that before, but whatever.
Wasn't he studying for an exam?
No, remember it opens
Oh, that's
up.
right, yeah, he was playing basketball for his exam.
Yeah, he was playing basketball.
He doesn't seem like he's prepared that well for this, to
He
be honest.
owns one pencil. Of course he's not prepared.
It's one pencil!
Where's my number 2 pencil? Like, I don't know. Just sharpen another one from your box. I would
Just
hope you
grab,
have.
is there only one number 2 pencil in this entire house? We have like 60 at my house.
I know.
We have like 30 pens and 60 pencils all lying around. And she
Yeah.
just need to write something down. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've stolen pencils from my mom's house. And guess what? Nobody knows because there's so many.
Yeah. And so he opens the book, and then we meet Lewis, who is the founder of the school. And we see the dean of the school, which is Lewis's son, Jason. And they're walking through the school. We see the Eagles. Daniel is the sport boy.
He does the sports better than anybody else there. He knows how to dunk a mean ball. He knows how to really get the old orange leather into that basket. You know, he knows how to dribble that up the quarter mile line. Is that what it is? When you shoot the basket.
You're definitely the sport expert, I think.
Yeah, he does that real good sport ball, and it's like he shoots and it's like swish 6 points. And it's nice. He did that sport ball good. Basketball's the only sport.
Then we meet the Ravens, and they are the smart boys of the school.
we have the two houses here. We have Ravenclaw, and we have Slytherin here.
Yeah, Slytherin. I was gonna say Hufflepuff. I never watched Harry Potter, so.
I feel like the Eagles are definitely Slytherin.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially as we like move on. So they get into into the lobby, and then Haley is like, "Oh look, the regime."
I know she's got something against schools that like it never really goes into, but like for like the first couple episodes, she's like, "Oh yeah, schools, knowledge, look, they're teaching you things. They got somebody in a position of power."
Yeah.
They're trying to fill your brain with nonsense. What is this, books? Get these out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be taught something by a teacher. She wants to stick it to the man, but, like, we have no idea why.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, yeah, it's so weird too. They never tell us why she's so like against the regime. But
And it's funny because like later it just disappears. It's not there
yeah.
anymore. So like it's like it's like they just I don't know.
Well, Greenhouse Academy isn't like anything else. I think it's
Yeah,
safe to
that's
just
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So Alex goes and he sees Daniel, the Eagles' golden boy, and he goes up and he's like, "I'm such a huge fan of you. Everything I learned was from watching you play." Which, like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Like,
And
he's a high school
brought up
player.
a question I had about this, which is how does he know about Daniel outside of the Greenhouse Academy? Like, not
Yeah,
Daniel. Yeah, his name was Daniel. Sorry, I was confused for a second. But like, was it like broadcast on TV? Like,
I don't
did
know.
they go to the same middle school or something?
No, well, like, we know that. Remember when they walk into the school, there is literally a picture of their dead mom right there.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So, like, she went to this school. That's, like, her alma mater. So maybe she took them to some
An alma
game?
mater of a high school.
But then nobody really recognizes them. So it's not like they came to the school a lot. I don't know how he saw Daniel play. I guess he was just like his mom stuck into the school, like videotaped it, gave him like bootleg basketball games of a high school.
On a VHS camera, when an era when smartphones were a thing. She would totally do that.
You know, it's so funny. Whenever I think of VHS, I even go like older. I think of like film reels, like in the Jack Black King Kong movie. I just picture her like rolling the handle on the side.
You think of that movie, you think of Jack Black. I think of that movie and I think of Peter Jackson. That's the biggest difference between me and Zach's right there. Of when we think of Peter Jackson's Jack Black's King Kong.
Yeah. So they have the entrance exam, and the teacher is like, "Okay, this is the SAT exam. College age students get 2.5 hours to take it. You get 45 minutes. Also, you're not going to be able to concentrate because we've got a guitar player."
I have so many problems with this setup
Yeah.
that, like, I've thought about it over and over again since. Like, why this is such a flawed setup. But, like, these kids aren't going to be performing their best.
No,
When
I
you've
guess
done this to them, they're going to be giving it their worst because they're going to have somebody playing guitar the whole time loudly.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason. What does this prove?
I guess it's like I don't know, like I'm so good at thinking, like it doesn't matter if there's loud noises. I could take the SATs in a construction site. Like, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like such an over-the-top, pointless, ridiculous thing. And that really, it just kind of sets the tone for, like, all of the school-related nonsense in this, because all of it is like this. It's all this, like, just
Yeah.
over-the-top. Like, nobody would do this. This has no purpose.
Yeah.
It's got no point other than to just be insane or difficult for whatever reason. Like, that doesn't teach kids anything.
No, but fun little game. If anyone watching ever like actually watches the Greenhouse through, this is a fun little game that I like to play, and I've been losing to this day. But trying to figure out what the school's curriculum is, like just try it. See what you come up with.
Yeah, this is the first sign you get that this school might not have the best curriculum in the world.
And so we meet. I want to say my favorite character, and I believe your favorite character, gets introduced when she gets led into the classroom in handcuffs.
Her name is Jackie.
Yes.
And she robbed a bank.
Yeah.
She robbed a bank.
And this is a perfect example of how the show just sort of slips things by you, because I did not hear this conversation till the second time through watching the show. So like we see the test, and then we see Haley doing something, and then she's sitting on a side of the wall or whatever, and then Lewis and Jason walk by, and Jason is like, "What do you mean? What are you letting her do here? She robbed a bank." And I'm like, "Wait, what?
What? She robbed a bank? A high schooler robbed a bank?
But remember, for a good cause. The bank was going to close down the shelter. She needed to make a point.
What?
And before we go into, like, the insanity of that statement, that is the last you're going to hear about this for, like, several episodes.
I think almost for an entire season.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it comes up to, like, the middle of season 2 again.
Yeah.
But they went through all the trouble of bringing her to school in handcuffs.
I love that. I love that. I love that this happens.
Yeah.
Like, I love she comes to school in handcuffs and Max offers her a mint and she gets all mad about it. And I love that too.
She's like,
Just
she like
remembering that.
snarls at him. Do I stink? And he's like, no. Like,
Max is the best. He's the only.
he's
the best
such
part
a
of the
sweet
series.
boy. He's so nice. And like,
Yeah, and he's like the nerdy one who's here, and he's like really good at everything, computer and every. Actually, he's just the best. He's just the best. I love him. And he offers her a mint to be nice, and she's all mad about it. But I guess in her defense, she did come in here in handcuffs.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd be a little on edge too.
but also, message PSA to everybody. If someone offers you a mint, please just take it. It never hurts to take a mint.
You know, I remember whenever Max offered me a mint, I said, "What, do I stink?" And then I slapped him in the face because it's just what you do when Max offers you.
It's just Max, but like if I offered
just
you a mint, you just
Oh yeah,
take
absolutely.
it.
I take
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Anyone else offers me a mint, yeah, but Max, no.
Yeah, no
This
Max.
actually starts out on one of my least favorite things about this show, where everyone just dunks on Max for no reason.
Yeah, it's so like, especially because he's such a like sweetie. A lot of teen show like nerds or whatever are like super like Urkel-y. I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now, but you know what I mean. They're like so like over the top.
Not Max though. Max just seems like a sweet boy who everybody dunks on, and this is like your first experience with it. Jackie coming in handcuffs, him offering her mints, and her just dunking on him for offering her a mint.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop. It's almost darkly comedic how much it goes through the show.
Yeah.
I swear we need like a dunked on Max counter or something for each
Well,
episode.
it's funny you mentioned that because the second time he gets dunked on is like he's on the phone with his mom and he's like, "Oh my gosh, mom, I passed the test. Good for me." And like he accidentally walks into the girls' bathroom, and so we meet two new people, Sophie and Brooke. They're Eagle girls, and
Bad girls.
yeah, and they're I like how you said bad. Okay. So they're like, "Oh wow, you're gonna be an eagle, aren't you?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm not that sporty." And they're like, "What? No." And it's like so over the top. Like, why are you like body shaming him?
I like how they said that to him when he walked in the girls' room, and their first response wasn't, get out of the girls' room.
You know,
Like, they took the time out of their day to dunk on him, not even for walking into the girls' room, but for something unrelated.
yeah.
Like, they see a guy walk into the girls' room, and their first response is to dunk on him for not being sporty and not tell him to get out the girls' room. I love that so much. Like, you'd think it'd be one of those things where, he walks in the girls' room on accident, and the girls go, "Eek, you dork, you walked in the girls' room." But these girls are like, "What, you're not sporty? Wow, what a dork."
Yeah, but also, like, they lull him into a false sense of security first. Like, also, I don't know. Something in Mean Girl brains, I guess, like, it just snaps to it. Like, they just immediately were both in sync with each other that this is what they were gonna do now. So that they were like, "Hi, welcome to the girls' room. Are you gonna be an eagle?" Like... So Alex passes the test. But if you want to be an eagle, you need to pass the fitness test too.
I wondered, if you don't pass the
So-
fitness test, do they just throw you on the Ravens because it's the only other one there? Like, the Eagles have to be smart and athletic, but the Ravens just have to be smart.
Pretty much. Like, it's also weird too because, like, we didn't really get into this, but Daniel wanted this other kid to get into the school, and so he hacked the mainframe and whatever. But that kid ended up failing anyway.
Yeah.
We find out that the Ravens are in charge of the school's servers.
Yeah, their entire computer system is in charge of the Ravens are in charge of.
Which is such a weird power balance because so if you just pass the test, you get into the Ravens. And you get access to the school-wide servers.
Yeah, the entire computer system in the school.
To be an eagle, you have to take the test. You also have to pass the fitness exam. And you get the gym. Throughout the show, we see the Ravens also use the gym. So, like...
It's just for the...
What's the
just for
perk?
playing basketball. You just get to play basketball. Like you don't do good at sports, you get access to the entire computer network system. You do good at sports, you can play basketball.
But the Ravens also get access to the gym
Yeah, but
too,
they
because
don't.
remember they get to do like
They
rock
don't do
climbing
like
and
the
stuff.
basketball though.
That's
They
true.
don't do the
Yeah.
basketball.
Okay. You're right. If you don't do the
Yeah.
basketball, you didn't do
Yeah, if
anything.
you don't do the
Okay. You're right.
basketball, I mean,
I was.
If you had access,
Yeah.
if you had to choose between the basketball and the entire computer network system, I mean, most kids would choose basketball.
That's true too.
So
yeah.
when you get right down to it, like getting access to the entire computer's network system, not really that much of a perk. Why do they let them have access to the entire computer network system? Why do they do that?
Can't
And it's
even-
not like that's a thing that that just shows up and is forgotten about. It becomes important. It keeps showing up again. They make a very big point that these kids somehow have access to like the entire computer network system, and it's just like normal.
Yeah. And also, just to be clear, Jackie, who robbed a bank, also gets access to the school service.
I cannot get over the idea of a high schooler robbing a bank and then getting out of jail because she goes to a fancy school. Like, I can't get over
Yeah,
the
like-
picture of a high schooler robbing a bank. Like a little kid, a 14-year-old walks in, or a 16-year-old walks in the bank and somehow robs him without getting killed.
Oh my gosh, it's so absurd.
Did she walk in with like a plastic bag and like just point to him and was like, give me the money, and they were like, haha, alright, go to jail? Or did she walk in with a gun? Like, how did she rob this bank? Was it like
What?
the opening to The Dark Knight and she was like one of the clowns over there that didn't get shot? Like
I don't know if anyone remembers this movie that had Kristen Stewart and Corbin Blue as kids, but it was called Catch That Kid, and they robbed a bank. Okay, so that's what I'm picturing. Like,
Greenhouse is the sequel to Catch That
Okay.
Kid that we never knew we wanted.
so Alex is doing his basketball tryouts, and they are applauding every free throw he does. And I'm like, I don't know much about basketball, but like, these are free throws. I feel like I'd want to see him do a little bit
You know,
more.
I like to
but
see him do like a dribble and like a pass, you know. I like to see him do any of those
Yeah.
other things that go into basketball besides shooting the hoop, because like, you know, if all there was in basketball is shooting the hoop, you wouldn't need a team there. It would just be like one guy and he would just shoot the hoop.
yeah.
But it's kind of like all about, you know, the other things you can do in basketball too.
Yeah.
That's usually why they have like a person whose job it is to sometimes shoot the hoop, so that everyone else, you know, can like do the teamwork stuff. Just shooting the hoop's not really basketball.
That's true. Okay, so then Daniel comes around. Like, I don't know what he's been doing all day. Because remember, this is like school audition day, basically. So I don't even really understand why he's at school. But whatever.
He's the kind of guy that, you know, when everyone's signing up for college, there's always that one guy who's just like, he's already done it, but he's just there anyway. There was always like the one guy at the lunch table who's like, oh yeah, I'm just here for the Wi-Fi. That's Daniel. He's just here for the Wi-Fi.
That's good. So Daniel challenges Alex. He's like, hey, you want to play some one-on-one? He immediately fouls him. And then everyone's like, hey, Daniel, what are you doing? Come on, play nice. So then he gets real close to Alex and he's like, you don't want to disappoint mommy? You know, I heard since the explosion she's been all over the place.
Wow! What is it with these types of things and people just hating kids with dead moms? Remember the sequel to Pet Cemetery where that kid's mom dies and like this bully just keeps harassing him because his mom's dead? And he's like, yeah, your mom's dead. And he's gonna kill him because his mom is dead? I always remember, like, what is it with these bullies and something against kids with dead moms?
Yeah.
I'll never understand that, but it's like a weird trope that just keeps showing up in these types of things.
Well, like, for sure. Like, I think I want to at some point design a teen drama bingo because for sure, dead parent, that's the free space. You don't even need to, like, think about it. Somebody's got a dead parent. Okay, so then Alex obviously doesn't really like hearing that comment. So he pushes him and he gets kind of like feral for a
He
second.
goes into beast mode.
Yeah, he does. So then they kick him out of school, and they're like, "You're not getting into this school because we don't approve of that kind of behavior."
You did one foul, so you're out. Fine.
Yeah. So then,
That's actually how the sport works. If you do one foul in basketball, they drop you from the whole league forever. That's why I don't know if you ever noticed. Whenever somebody fouls in basketball, they're gone. You never see them again. They actually take them out back and shoot them for doing the foul in basketball. So don't do fouls in basketball. You will die.
Another PSA. So then Haley makes a big speech, and she's like, "You say you're supposed to make leaders, but you're just making bullies like him." And then Daniel's like, "Who, me?" And I love that so much. That's the best. Daniel's my favorite. Like, he is amazing. But okay, so she makes a big speech, and then she leaves with Alex, and she's like, "Forget this school. We don't need this. Like, you don't need this. Like, I don't even want to be part of the regime anyway."
Yeah, you don't need an education.
Yeah.
I'm not a part of this system. My dad's not a phone. That's what she's like. Basically does that. She gives them the whole, not a part of the system speech.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. No, she definitely threw it all on the ground.
If she had a phone, she would have thrown it on.
Well, hold that thought, because we have to talk about Louise in a second. But
oh yeah, those are next.
But before that, so anyway, the owner of the school, Lewis, runs after them, and he's like, "You know what? You guys got a lot of integrity. You both get into the school." Haley has done nothing all day. She's just been walking around trolling people for going to this school all day. And he's like, "Well, if you don't like it so much, why don't you stay and fix it?" And so she's just, at first she's like, "Actually, I'm just gonna go home." Because, like, the only reason she was here was to be Alex's ride home. But then he makes this big fuss, like, "Think about all the fun we'd have together if you go to this school." She got played by her brother.
She really did.
So she's gonna be a raven, and he's gonna be an eagle. Then, to show how different Haley is, when she goes to take the test, and Jackie also has to retake the test because she left after the last time.
Yeah, she unplugged the music and just walked out.
Yeah, she bowed too, which is also why she's great.
Yeah, this is also why she's the best character.
So the teacher's like, "Okay, do you guys need anything?" And then Haley's like, "Actually," and then we see the captain of the Ravens, Leo, is back with his, like, fake Metallica music playing, and he's like, "Wow." Other people were like, "I can't concentrate with this music," but not Haley. She likes it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like how the rules of getting into the school are so arbitrary. I like the cut of your jib. You're getting into the school.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, this school has the most arbitrary entry values ever. Like, oh yeah, you robbed a bank? That's some gall you got there. I like the cut of your jib. Here, you're in the school. Or, you gave me a big old speech about how schools are for losers. I like the cut of your jib. You're in my school.
Yeah.
What? Could you imagine if that's how it worked in real life?
Well, no, that is. And you and I, we need to get together. We need to make a list of the things we want, and we need to just storm into buildings, make big speeches to various CEOs.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you're right. That is how that works.
Yeah.
That's how I got into Midland's test. I didn't even take the test. I walked in there and I gave a big speech about how I didn't like schools. And they said, "You know what? I like the cut of your jib. You're getting in." Yeah. And then they gave me the test afterwards. I didn't answer half the questions on it. They just really liked the cut of my jib.
Yeah. Like, I really like going to Target. So I went to the manager one day and I was like, "Hey, you think you could put prices on things? You think I'm going to pay for this? No, I'm not going to. In fact, I'm leaving." He gave me lifetime supply, everything in the concession stand. They have a Starbucks attached. I get that for free.
Maybe this school has a point. Maybe it really is training kids for the real world.
Yeah. So, like, you want something? Prepare your speech ahead of time. Think about how you've been wronged. Then throw it back in the whoever's in charge's face. As long as they like the cut of your jib, you get it.
Oh my God. Jackie robbed a bank and they let her in because she robbed a bank. This show.
We have to talk about the Louis now.
Oh no.
So Steve Jobs wanted the Louis to be part of Apple, but Louis was like, no, Louis are for the students.
Can I just say, Lewis named these after himself.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Steve Jobs named his computer the Stevies?
His middle name is iPhone.
Yeah, oh, that is true. Yeah, his name was Steve iPhone Jobs. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, his name was, Bill Microsoft Gates, too. I forgot about that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Windows. Actually, his name was Bill Windows Gates.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense that he would name his device, Louis, right after himself.
Yeah. His nickname was Windows Vista.
Yeah. Old Visty. That was his Old Visty.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Facebook Zuckerberg.
His name is Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Jack Twitter Dorsey, Noah Glass Twitter, Biz Twitter Stone, and Evan Twitter Williams. They all shared the name Twitter.
Okay, so can we also just talk about the impracticality of just having a Louis? That's so inconvenient. Everyone can see your texts. Like, okay, like if you've never seen the show, a Louis, picture a stylus, sort of, that if you unbend it, a holographic screen appears and you can like sort of touch and interact with it.
And everyone can see what you're doing
Yeah.
at all times because it's see.
Yeah.
So you're over here, I don't know, looking up, like, I don't know, kawaii anime girls on Twitter, and, like, everyone knows you're a weeb now, and they're all like, haha, look at him, he's looking up kawaii anime girls on Twitter. We can see your Louis from across the room, because it's big, it's humongous screen, it's bright, and it displays everything to everyone at all times. Because there's no privacy in this school. That's another thing. Why do they even have a girls' bathroom? They have co-ed door.
Also, I don't know how many students are here, so like at this school, but every student gets a Louis.
Yeah. Every single one of them.
Yeah, so like folks at home, you're already trying to figure out what this school's curriculum is. I got another job for you. Try to figure out how this school even gets funded. Because
Yeah, figure out what its budget is.
yeah, because like I don't know if the students pay tuition because he just let Haley and Alex into this school. No talk about like scholarships or
He liked the cut of their jib.
and that finances their
Yeah, you can actually
education.
Well, it's called the cut of your jib because you take the jib and you sell it. You know, the cut of the jib.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they got a good cut of your jib, you can get mad bank for that on the jib marketplace. So that's why he accepts the people with the best cuts of jibs. But yeah, Louis are awful.
Yeah.
Louis are an absolutely terrible creation.
I don't want a Louis.
Louis should feel bad. They are inconvenient on all levels. And you only get like a small taste of how inconvenient they are, but as the show goes on, you'll see like these are just like the worst things ever, and I don't know why they didn't just have normal phones.
One thing you might have forgot. Remember 8 months ago when that astronaut blew up?
Oh yeah. Wow, we've been through so much in one episode.
But remember how she left a husband behind?
Oh yeah, that's right. She did have a drunk, sad husband.
Well,
sad dad on the track.
Yeah. Well, Haley and Alex are like, we got into school. Dad didn't come to our opening student ceremony, which was like such a big ask. He couldn't drive Alex to school. You got accepted and went to the entrance ceremony the exact same day, and you already established that your house is 2 hours away. So you found out at like maybe 1 p.m. that you got accepted into the school. The opening ceremony is at 4 p.m. How on earth was your depressed dad ever going to make it? So I don't know why you were even surprised.
I don't know why you even asked him to.
Well,
Did you even ask him
I
to?
think they said
Did
that
you call him up?
I think they said that he didn't answer their calls, but which is also why I'm assuming he's like an implied alcoholic because he's just asleep. Then his house, like Haley and Alex's, their home gets broken into by this redheaded man, and he walks over to the computer right next to the sleeping dad.
I totally forgot this scene happened.
And so he basically like hacks the computer.
Into the mainframe.
Yeah, he hacks the mainframe and he deletes all the files on it, and that's where the episode ends. So like
And I want you to keep that in mind because I don't think that scene ever comes up again.
So like We start off with an explosion. 8 months later, forget about the explosion. Now it's a high school fun time thing. Now dad gets hacked.
Yeah. I like how you mentioned the red-haired guy. We don't know his name.
No.
I think it tells at the very end of the series. I actually forgot he was even in the show because that's how much he shows up. But I like how they put him in the very first episode. Like, even in this one episode, it's like, starts out super depressing. Some kids' moms die. Then there's like tension. Then all of that is gone, and it's like wacky, zany, like, oh wow, teen drama sitcom stuff. Then there's like a mystery at the very end, and that's all in one episode, and you're just like trying to figure it out. It's disjointed. It's all over the place, and it's beautiful.
The experience of watching Greenhouse is like, like it's so insane, so crazy, so all over the place that like once you're in it, you need to finish it. Okay, well that wraps up episode 1. And
Thank you for having me on.
yes, thank you for being a good Greenhouse trooper. Man. All right.
It's okay. I love this show.
It's real
hopefully
good.
Rogue comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
I miss her, to be honest. It's a shame she died, but happens to the best of us. It's a shame. Yeah, what it was is actually Rogue. I remember she got in an astronaut thing actually, and she was going up in outer space. I remember, and then the whole thing just exploded. I remember that. And then I remember I was really upset about that, and I was playing basketball, and Zax was listening to like this awful Pink Floyd thing. We kind of got in a fight or whatever, and the next day Zax drove me over to the Blue House Academy, and I'd say we've been pretty good friends from there. Although I did think it was a little weird how Zax was trying to stick it to the man here, this academy, and she got in purely off the cut of her jib. It's pretty crazy how they let Zax in. I was real good at that sports ball. That's how I got in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also,
I
I robbed a bank.
8 months. There's gotta be like an 8 months thing where before Rogue shows up.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But anyway, thanks for having me on, and thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.